All right, so here we are. We're doing it again, Aquarius. This one's for you here, Aquarius. This is Tarot Illumination. This is your mini generic love and relationship report for November 2018, basically Scorpio season. So if you're feeling a little bit stressed, through this period, that would be understandable, Aquarius, because Scorpio is typically a very challenging energy for you. But we can also evolve and grow from our challenges. Before we get into the cards, I want to give you a very, very little brief, some hors d'oeuvres here to get started. I'm not even going to hardly get into this astrology stuff. These are my personal notes. I'm just sharing them. If you want to go deep into your own personal journey, please check out the playlist for general reports. It's completely different. And we go into this in a lot more depth, okay? But for now, this is just about love and relationship. So I'm going to point out a couple of little tiny things that might be relevant for you. November the 23rd, we have a full moon in Gemini in your 5th house of true love, okay? Creative self-expression, romance. At the 22nd, the day before, we have the sun in Sagittarius over here in your 11th house, which just happens to be the home of Aquarius anyway. So, just being very, 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 broad spectrum here. If you're feeling some kind of romantic relationship dynamic towards the end of the month, pay attention to what you're feeling, all right? Right there at those particular dates, the 22nd, 23rd, like a buildup of things. What's happening in your love life that impacts your community, your dreams, wishes, and aspirations for like your future? What is happening in your community and your sense of participation in humanity that is affecting your love life? Okay, that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to bother with the rest of this. Okay, so you know the routine. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising, okay? Especially since if they're all different. And then you have to kind of, reinterpret the stories and to suit yourself, okay? Also, if you want to, because it's love and relationship, if there is a significant other, you can do the cross-watching, if you know their details. Also, when we do these readings, please invite your invisible friends, your archangels and guardians and all of that stuff. Also, a couple of things just about Tarot Illumination business. Please, please, please check out the links below. All the little end screens, the little buttons at the top. Check out number 1, Tarot Illumination membership. Please, please, please. It's a really important part of the growth of Tarot Illumination. Next, check out the first Friday group healing events. There's 2 links below, very early on for the very first one here for November, and then the next one for December. Next, if you want to go deeper, check out the general reports, separate playlist already posted. And thank you for the subscribes and likes. In fact, I'm reaching out, asking for subscribers, asking for likes, because it really, really helps the channel to stabilize and grow. Okay? All right, that's it. All right, let's just get on with it. All right, people? You know the routine. Thank you for choosing Tarot Illumination. There's thousands of tarot channels now, and I'm just glad you're here, frankly. Okay, we're good. Okay, here we go. So bless this little deck. Bless you, Aquarius. Bless Tarot Illumination. Bless the whole channel and the cameras and the internet and everything that allows us to do this at all in the first place. Thank you so much. Over here is you. Okay, think of yourself as a cell phone. You're always transmitting and receiving energy simultaneously when you're fully open. Okay. Over here, a significant other, doing the same thing, whether you like it or know it or not. Over here, deep inside of you. Over here, deep inside of the other. Over here, at the very core, the relationship itself. Are you seeing what I'm seeing here? There's you, there's another, and there's a third entity, the relationship. This structure here is a crucible. This is a bowl. The crucible is a very, very sturdy structure, bowl, typically that they use in science labs, that is able to withstand intense pressures of alchemical reactions, just as what happens in love and relationships. As we intimate and we separate, we intimate and we separate on a never-ending every cycle, just like the waves of the ocean. Okay, and this thing here, the relationship, has its own identity, meaning, and purpose and mission. Okay, and a loving couple know this, and they invest in and through the relationship instead of just, going at it. Okay, over here, prospects and momentum, and over here, circumstantial influences, environment. Think of it as the weather, and we're going to start now. So you have the moon. All right, Aquarius. So my feeling is that because November is a month of big, big changes, and you have already been living through some very, very stressful times recently with the Leo North Node axis, the Aquarius Leo axis in extreme polarity, and the Scorpio Taurus axis in extreme hard angles to the Leo Aquarius axis. It's been very stressful. You've had Mars in Aquarius for some time. All of this is going to change. It's going to change, change, change. Mars is moving into Pisces eventually. Jupiter is moving into Sagittarius. Okay, that's sweet for you. But the thing is, we still have to deal with what's happening right now. Okay, so with right now, the moon, my feeling is that this is like a representation. I don't know if you can see that. It's like really spooky, scary stuff out here. This is a representation of like your environment, as though you're like lost out in the wilderness with very little in the way of terms of guidance, like your smartphone, your GPS systems, your internet, emails. Everything is kind of like, whoa, absent for you in such a way that the only thing that left is you and your environment, the raw nature of environment, which can be very freaky and weird and scary at times. So my feeling is to be very aware that it would be very easy to be freaked out right now. The intense Scorpio stellium that we've just had, coming out of October and now coming into Scorpio season, this could be really, really like convulsive for you. And it's only towards the end of the month where things are going to sweeten up and move more in your favor. So please allow for that. If you're feeling really spooked, scared by your circumstances and conditions right now, that would be normal. So don't worry, okay? Don't worry. Let's have a look over here. What are you radiating? Okay. King of Swords. To me, this looks like an absolute determination to hold to your truth no matter what. Like, it's Aquarius is you've been under so much stress, and with the Mars in Aquarius there, it's like added so much extra pressure. It's like being at war, and like in a condition of war where there's no time to sleep, relax, hang out, take a shower, do all those things that happen in wartime where it's just freaking miserable. Okay, and then you have to find a way to get through it, and I feel that this is you doing that. King of Swords here, maintaining your integrity, your truth, your honesty, your perspective, no matter what. Okay, and almost like God help anybody who gets in your way. Okay, because Aquarius, you are almost like the freedom fighter. You are almost like the truth caller, the vigilante of hope for humanity, and the one who feels obliged to cry out and express that for others, because not a lot of other people, think like you. Aquarians, you tend to be extremely unique, and you create your own codes and paradigms, and you have your own unique way of being, which is strictly you. Each Aquarian is unique. And that's the quirky thing about Aquarians. You can't really define them. But the thing that does, link all Aquarians is their unique nature. So I think this is you expanding and being that at the highest levels, even including love and relationship, especially when it gets really, really challenging. Okay, let's have a look. What about the other? Okay. Wow. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, so okay, well, we have the King of Swords here, and we have the Queen of Swords over here. I'm going to hold this steady. I hope you can see that. A lot of you know already that the Queen of Swords is often thought of as the 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 woman who also is not willing to put up with any form of BS. Okay, so Aquarius, you might be in a situation. Let's forget the genders here. There's the King of Swords. There's the Queen of Swords. You might be in a very, very equally balanced, let's say, power struggle, or with a significant other. I'm thinking mostly because of the heavy squares that are happening to you right now as we transition through November into December, where things change very significantly. Right here, right now, there could be like a battle of the wits, like a standoff between you and a significant other. On the brighter side, we could be dealing with something where you, Aquarius, are starting to see your own uniqueness being reflected back to you in a very unambiguous, very, let's say, truthful, almost blunt, scary, frighteningly clear, crystalline reflection. Whether you like that or not is a whole other thing. It's not very romantic. It's almost like getting blinding, shocking awakenings about who you are from a significant other, and a significant other who is absolutely adamant about not compromising themselves in order to accommodate you. Okay? They are as adherent to themselves and their own unique identity and their right to be who they are as you are. Okay? So that might not be very romantic. What's going on deep inside here? Okay, the Queen of Cups. Okay, well, my feeling is that deep down, you do have loving intentions and you do want the best for what works for you and a significant other in a deeply loving relationship. The question is here, my feeling is that you're not quite sure what to do with it or actually how it works. With the Queen of Cups, this is like, to me, it feels like you've been really knocked around. You've been really like bashed around, and you're still taking it. You're still handling it, and you're doing as well as anybody could possibly do under such situations. And the reason you're able to handle it is because deep down it's worth it to you. Because like when we're talking about the element of love, the love quotient, so to speak, as opposed to the theoretical aspects of relationship or the mental ways in which we connect to each other, deep down, you know that it's all about the heart anyway. Now, if you want to, Aquarius, you can go back to the general reports, which is all about heart energy, okay? And maybe cross-reference that with this report if you want to. I'm trying to make the best of this reading for you so you don't deal with something that is extremely intellectual and devoid of any romance. Instead, what I see is that there's something very deeply loving going on inside you and you have the best of intentions. It's just that you're not quite sure how to express this or how this actually works in day-to-day reality. You can be almost like hyper-intellectual, Aquarius, in the way that you deal with things, almost like detached, highly unemotional from the way other people perceive you. But yet deep down inside, you are a human being just like the rest of us. And you have all that to offer. You have so much to offer, so much love that you would love to share, so much love that you would like to receive. Okay? And that's perfectly fair. What about a significant other over here? Okay. Well, with the Eight of Pentacles, my feeling is that they're doing absolutely the very best that they can, no matter how challenging it is. It's almost like, to me, it feels here like it's almost like they're under intense pressure from you. Not that you're trying to harm the significant other or undermine them, or it's not like you have any bad intents here. It's just that my feeling is that you're under so much pressure. You've been under so much pressure. Think of the last year and a half with all the Leo Aquarius eclipses and everything, and you're just totally, absolutely maxed out, just like being at war for a year and a half, and all you know is war. And then knowing deep down that change is shifting and coming up to you, and that heart and love energy is going to flow again. But right now, here in this moment in time, it's still like you're in combat mode, still fully armored in combat mode, including in the context of love and relationship, and you're getting your equal match in return. So in some ways, it could be extremely challenging. However, my feeling is that with this significant other, this loved one over here, this relationship over here, they are actually, I don't know what the word is, like invested. They are dedicated. They are putting in as much energy as they can as well, in whatever way works for them. That's best of all. And it's like an investment as far as they're concerned. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for you, but they are putting in the work. They're doing everything that they can do, everything that they have to do. They're putting all their assets and resources into the relationship dynamics, for better or worse. Okay? All right, let's have a look at the core. What's going on? Okay, so you have the Four of Cups here. My feeling that this is very much to do with you being very battle weary, very exhausted from the wars of love, and relationship, and the challenges of having to be a good mate to another, and the challenges of another having to be a good mate to you. Sometimes it's just overwhelmingly exhausting to the point where you wonder, is there actually anything left at all? Am I at fault for all of the things that don't work? Is it their problem? Is it my problem? I have no idea. All I know is that to me, this is very much about the energy of exhaustion. A relationship that is in the state of exhaustion. It doesn't mean it's over. It's just that sometimes relationships go through those periods where both sides are like, they are holding on to themselves and who they feel they are in the context of a relationship, and they are not willing to compromise themselves by being in, and they're not willing to compromise themselves or demean themselves in order to go along to get along. And instead, you guys are both holding to your highest levels of integrity that you feel is your right and duty and obligation. The thing is that it's so exhausting to do that, just like being at war, just like, people battling it out like in a big long sword fight or a big boxing match that goes on and on and on, punch after punch after punch, beat after beat. It's just like exhausting after a while. And you start to forget, like, well, wait a minute, what are we doing? Where is the love? What are we actually fighting for? Where is the conflict? Why are we in conflict? What is the conflict? Because sometimes that happens in relationships. You know what happens? People end up in toxic situations, or they fight and they think like, well, wait a minute, what are we actually fighting about? So because once you get sucked into that very, very treacherous black hole of tit for tat, like, well, wait a minute, you just disrespected me. Well, what did you expect? You disrespected me. I did not. Tell me, how exactly did I disrespect you? If you can't see that, then why are you even in this relationship? Wait a minute, are you talking down to me? And it just goes on and on and on from there. one battle scar leads to another battle scar. It just goes on and on. Conflict breeds conflict. And you forget, energy flows where attention goes, people. And if all your energy is consumed by the conflict, and you forget that there's a whole other option out there for you, hint, hint, little Ace of Cups over here, by the way, people, then you just end up continuously sucked into conflict, combat, irreconcilable conflict, which is exhausting for you. It's exhausting for them. It's exhausting for the relationship. Doesn't mean it's over. It just can be very depleting. So my feeling here is with the relationship is please allow, in the crucible here, this is the crucible. This is the structure that is designed and built to withstand the intense pressures as we intimate and separate on natural, very natural orders, just like the ocean waves. My feeling here is that with the Four of Cups, it's a reminder. It's almost like the relationship itself is under such duress that if the relationship had a voice, it would say, listen, people, listen you, our relationship is stretched to the max here. Do you understand that energy flows where attention goes, people? Please focus on this. Get away from all of this. You're just sucking yourself deeper into a black hole. Love is all there is. Focus on the love. What is it that does work about the relationship? What is it that you've got that does work? Think about all the investment and resources that they're putting in. Think about all the love that you have. What are you doing with that, people? Let's say the relationship can talk. Okay, over here, prospects and momentum. Wow. Okay, well, this is the Alchemist. It's kind of like the Magician in the regular deck. Okay, it's an absolutely beautiful card. Can you see it? This is the Alchemists themselves with all their tools and magic equipment in front of them. And what happens is you start to realize, Aquarius, remember, this is not a couple's reading. This is all about you, and we're allowing for a significant other. So in this reading for you, Aquarius, the prospects here is like through, my feeling is through possibly very, very painful periods through this Scorpio season, you start to realize that it all comes down to you in the end. What are you going to do with your power? What are you going to do with your gifts? Are you going to try and maintain your integrity in a very, very detached, separated manner, like I am me and I have a right to be me? And they're like, well, okay, I'm me and I have a right to be me too. What do you expect to get back reflected to you? I am a sacred gift to you. I am a mirror of you. Oh, wait a minute. What about the love? And they say, well, exactly. What about the love? What are you going to do about it? And you say, like, well, that's what I'm fighting for. And they say, like, fighting? Why are you fighting? And then you realize, oh my gosh, it really, really is up to me. I have the power here to refocus my attention. Energy flows where attention goes. Let's focus on the love, baby. Yeah. Okay. So take all that magical power. Think of this as the magician. It's neutral energy. What are you going to do with that power? Are you going to cause trouble, mischief? Are you going to do something magnificent? It's up to you, Aquarius. You make your decisions. What are you going to do with your power? I think it'll make a lot more sense by the time you get towards the end of November, especially around that full moon and this thing that we talked about here. Okay, the full moon in Gemini and the sun moving into Sagittarius. That's going to be much, much sweeter energy for you. The full moon will be in your 5th house of true love. Da, 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 da. Whoa. I'm going to be very curious to see what happens in December for you. Okay, Aquarius? All right, let's leave it at that. That's enough. Please reinterpret however you want. Bye-bye. All the best.